Okay.
Okay. Welcome back to our podcast project. My name is Renee Howell. I chose ABC News to cover.
Hey, I'm Kara Johnson, and I chose NBC News.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I chose Fox News to cover.
Hi, I'm Addison, and I selected MSNBC as my news outlet.
Hi, I'm Deshaun Jones, and I selected CNN News.
Hi, I'm Calandra and I chose USA Today News.
So the two topics we chose were Charlie Kirk's death and the Epstein files that have been in the media recently. Um, what stood out to me about ABC and Charlie Kirk's death is that it did not treat Charlie Kirk's alleged death as confirmed breaking news. It instead of the bold announcements and the sensational headlines, ABC was very cautious. In the clips I watched, the network framed the situation as unverified or disputed information that was circulating online rather than it being fact. Um, ABC more so focused on like the rapid spread of misinformation and the lack of official confirmation of the subject and how quickly false information can spread.
Mm-hmm.
ABC, they also brought on a media analyst to explain how algorithms and the political bias can accelerate unverified claims. Their tone in their news is very just calm and neutral and preventative rather than dramatic. They don't even use very much like emotional language. Um, but yeah, ABC was just very neutral on the topic, and I really liked how they covered it and like made it seem like, take it with a grain of salt. This may not be true. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, mine was like completely different. Like Fox News kind of took it and ran with it.
Mhm.
They're more of a conservative side, which I didn't even know that, but they're more of like a conservative news outlet, if you will. And they took it and ran with it and were like, this is all of the liberals' faults, like blah blah blah. Blah. So
mm,
that's interesting, just the difference.
well,
Yeah.
Yes, same Lily. My MSNBC, it framed the killing as a targeted political assassination, and they definitely took and ran with it, just as, like you said, Fox News did.
Yeah.
yeah.
so did you guys want to start talking about the vocab relating to that?
Sure.
You can. Yeah.
So
Here with me.
for regarding Charlie Kirk's death and the ABC coverage, they showed objectivity by avoiding inserting personal or political opinions about Charlie Kirk. Um, the anchors and reporters just stayed focused on the variable facts instead of emotional reactions or the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For
Go
you
ahead.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. NBC, they were pretty objective over both topics of Charlie Kirk and the Epstein files. The news channel didn't seem to have hardly any, if at all, any opinion of their own opinions about what they thought of the assassination or the Epstein files. They presented the facts of the ongoing investigation of the suspect of Charlie Kirk, and as well as they stated the facts about Epstein files being released.
Yeah, that's about the same with CNN News. They state the facts about Charlie Kirk, about who he was and what he did, and how he, you know, spoke to people whenever he did conversations with people and stuff like that. And they just talked about how he was a radio host and he helped Trump get elected with the Epstein files. They mainly just talked about the facts. That's about it with CNN News.
Yeah, with Fox News, I would definitely say there wasn't, not that there wasn't, but I wouldn't say it showed full objectivity because there were a lot of opinions being given. And I'm not saying like they didn't have facts, because they did. They gave reports from the police, and they showed like the suspects, like whatever, like when he got caught. But I would say most of what I watched was more so them trying to frame it as like violence against all of the conservatives and making it like they're like extreme leftists, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, MSNBC, had trouble staying objective. They, during the breaking news and analysis, Matthew Dowd, he suggested that Kirk's own political rhetoric might have played a role in in the shooting.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Alrighty.
Okay, so for me going into the transparency about ABC, they were very clear about what information was confirmed and what was not confirmed and what was still developing at that moment. So the viewers were not like misled into just believing rumors about the situation. I really like how they were transparent in that way, just giving everyone just straight up, this may not, maybe confirmed, maybe unconfirmed, is still developing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Agree with that too.
Dang, y'all.
I
Because
know.
like mine was not at all. Like,
That's
Was the complete
again,
opposite.
like, yeah, like, there were some like facts and quotes that were given, but like it was pretty much all like opinion based news.
Mhm.
Mm,
I think ABC and NBC are pretty similar, I think, because a lot of what you were saying, Renee, is like how kind of like what I viewed on NBC. Their transparency was pretty clear, especially when it came to the Charlie Kirk event, because they interviewed several different people, especially during the ongoing investigation about the suspect and what all was going on. And then the Epstein files, they also brought on more people to interview about the bill being released that the Department of Justice needed to release all of the files. So I feel like they're pretty transparent.
Yeah, they
yeah.
did the same with CNN News. They interviewed the victims and how they talked about how the files should be released and how they got released. And same thing with Charlie Kirk. They interviewed a lot of people, and it's about it. It's about the same.
Yeah, I would definitely say like they were more so like on with mine, they were more so like focused on like the client list and like
Right,
whether that was real or not, and not as much so like with what you said, like checking on the victims and stuff,
right.
or the Epstein, like in the Epstein.
I feel
Yeah,
like mine was a mix of both facts and different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
When broadcasters spoke out about facts, I feel like they, were true and they made sure before they spoke out about it, but they also did interview a lot of people and victims of it.
mhm,
Yeah.
That just, was their way of spreading their own personal opinions,
Yeah.
right.
which you can go either way. Some people thought it was okay and some people didn't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how do you,
Yeah.
I noticed that NBC in 2025 they added to their slogan, it was reporting for America. So I feel like that was pretty transparent of them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I also wrote that ABC shows a type of slow journalism because instead of rushing to like post a specific headline about the incident, they prioritize the accuracy over the speed of getting it out there. And being careful and deliberate about that approach is what reduces the spread of information. So I
All
really
right.
like how they like slowly put it out there, made sure
Oh,
people
for
know.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very slow in that aspect.
I think MSNBC, they put it out there a little too quickly. And that's why one of their analysts that had posted about it, he had posted false information, and he later on ended up getting fired.
Oh,
Because
really?
It's crazy.
I
yes,
did not know that.
Oh
Matthew
my
Dowd,
gosh, I didn't
he
know that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Many
I would,
people thought it was unfair and amounted the blaming of the victim. And so in MSNBC, they later apologized and called the comments insensitive and unacceptable, and he was later on fired because of it.
Wow.
Well,
yeah. See, with
um,
CNN, it was a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they will post what they can first, but sometimes that'll be false information. But later
mhm,
on, they would, I'm saying, update the topic and give us actual facts about what's happening and what's going on. So I'll say it's a
right.
mixture of both.
Big JK moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
mine was leaning way towards the fast, like reactive storytelling kind of
Right.
side in the clips that I
Yeah.
saw. Just trying to like tie um like bigger political issues with what was happening instead of just covering that story.
yeah.
I feel like mine was at first, or in my notes, I have that it was not slow journalism because they got their information out pretty quickly. But I like what you said, Renee. Yours was really good, and I think mine kind of follows along with that because they never really took anything down or changed anything. I think they just added on to the facts they had. So I think I might have been looking at slow journalism a little wrong. So I like what you said, Renee, and that's kind of how I saw NBC.
Thank
Mm,
you.
period.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to say about their news outlet relating to slow journalism?
Mine had a lot of the slow journalism. It, yeah, they were very careful also about their details.
Mm,
Yeah.
They really were
Yeah.
more factual.
that's the way to go, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think that's the smartest thing to do
some
because mine
people
was
can't.
complete opposite, and y'all see what happened.
Right,
Yeah.
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 Well, I also wrote that ABC also did not appear to push a specific political agenda or an ideological agenda. Um, the main purpose was to kind of prevent confusion and protect the viewers from false information and not to, shape their political opinions. So
Mm-hmm.
their agenda was very much a positive agenda. They very much had the right agenda, I feel like.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I agree. That sounds like NBC. It really does. I feel like I'm tailbacking on or pigtailing on what you're saying, but I feel like there were a lot of similarities in these two channels. But I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like NBC was pretty. To me, they're pretty neutral. They're not
Yeah.
left or they're not right. They're just more so
Yeah.
trying to get the correct information out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think NBC and ABC are the two outlets that are just the neutral ones, just trying to get you
Yeah.
your information.
Yes,
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yes.
Yeah. Like whatever one of y'all says, the other one could just say ditto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
Same way with
Um,
CNN.
yeah. Is it like it's about the same for you, Deshaun?
Yeah, it's the exact same for me.
Yeah. See, mine from like with Fox News, like they took a for real political angle with like, which I mean,
Yeah.
it's not surprising because Fox
Yeah.
News does have more of that.
Yeah.
But rather than just like it being like informational, it was like sticking with the idea of like the conservatives are being targeted and all of that. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they had a very
I
negative
remember
agenda.
whenever the
Yes.
Yeah.
Very heavy agenda.
I kind of seen that coming. Yeah.
I remember whenever whenever it happened, I had just sat down in my living room and I never turned the news on, but I had my
Mhm.
phone up and I saw that on one of my group Snapchats, and it said Charlie Kirk had just been shot. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I've got to turn the news on." So I turned Fox News on, and I totally agree with what you're saying, Lily.
Oh my
I saw it
word.
Oh
the
wow.
day of. Mhm.
God, that's crazy. So you like saw it
Yeah.
real time.
Yes, yes, real time.
Interesting.
Yes, yes. That's like my 9/11 moment. I will not forget where I was whenever I saw all that go down.
Oh my
Yeah,
word, I
it was
know.
crazy and devastating that
Yeah.
day,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
especially
just how
on that
like people
campus.
were treating it was
Yeah,
Mhm.
crazy.
especially on that
Yes.
campus. I hate that for them.
I know.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I can't
That-
imagine. I
I
cannot
know.
imagine.
That's crazy.
I couldn't
Right.
imagine being his wife neither, seeing that.
I know.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, I
definitely.
know.
Being there too, like,
Being there in front of college kids, that's
I
crazy.
literally watched a thing on the news not long after and saw where somebody like that was right in front of it when it happened. They were like freaking out.
I
Oh,
mean, yeah,
I
I
rightfully
mean,
so.
yeah.
yeah.
God.
Video is terrible.
Does anyone else have anything to add about the agenda?
I don't think so.
Not
Alrighty.
really, no.
Okay. Well, kind of transitioning into false information, the propaganda of it all. I kind of feel like ABC didn't use fear or exaggeration or like the emotional manipulation, kind of like
Hmm.
other sources kind of do.
Yeah.
I feel like it actively kind of warned viewers about the misinformation that was going out, and that's really the opposite of what propaganda is. So I feel like they really altogether avoided
Exactly.
putting out any
Yeah.
propaganda. But I will say I've seen a ton of propaganda awarding, or well, concerning his death. I've heard things like his wife is pregnant, that
Mm-mm.
his
Oh my
wife is
God.
behind it all.
I've heard
Um,
that.
I've
I've
heard
yeah,
all
heard
of
that.
that.
just
Have y'all
crazy
heard
stuff.
the thing like he went into a box or something, like he fell through the seat and like went in a box?
No,
No.
I
I
have
didn't hear
not heard
that.
that.
Or like
Me
a secret thing? It's
So like he
crazy. Yeah,
shot
people have
and
come
Yeah.
and got dropped
a
down.
hologram.
No, I
Yeah,
heard it
yeah,
was
Yeah,
yeah,
just a.
yeah,
I heard it was just a fake death. I heard a lot of things.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that
Like
It's
there
too.
crazy.
isn't a video of it.
yeah. So I think we can all agree we've heard some kind of propaganda around his death.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Yes.
Did any of y'all's news sources like straight up? Well, I know one of you said that it did give out false information and that person did get fired, but did any other news sources like give out that propaganda like that and advertise that for y'all?
No, definitely not
No,
NBC.
not
Yeah.
CNN.
Yeah,
Mine
No.
definitely didn't either.
yeah, I mean, Fox, they just kind of had like the emotional like framing
Mhm.
of it all
Right.
again, like with the conservatives, but like making them feel like they were actually like being hunted. But it also took kind of like the emotional standpoint of like, oh, like Charlie's family, his wife,
Yeah.
which
Hmm.
is like true, but making it to the extreme and like
Like
Yeah.
placing
decide
blame
your
I know what you
what,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
decide because of that. More like
Yeah.
us versus them, really,
Right.
against the
Yeah.
liberals.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the propaganda really more so just came from social media and online sources rather than news.
Right.
It
A lot of
did.
personal
Yeah.
users.
Because even scrolling through TikTok or, Facebook, you
Instagram.
can see
Yeah.
something, just an ad that'll pop up about his death or his wife or, what's going on in
Yeah,
their life
Yeah.
now. It's just very
Mm-hmm.
like you see it. You
it's
see it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
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 But lastly, their advertising influence. I don't think they had a very obvious attempt to use their story to gain ratings. Like, I don't think that was their goal there. I don't think they were trying to get clicks or serve their advertisers. I feel like their
No, me
segment
either.
was really just informative and educational and not trying to, glamorize it.
For
I
sure.
agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that
I
really
didn't
has a
see too.
good influence on, especially like younger people having a neutral outlet to tell them straight up.
Yeah.
Right.
To
Yeah.
give them the news, not something
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
The news and not like uh, a very like either left side or right side point of view news. It's very
Yeah.
different.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Hmm.
So how
Mm-hmm.
do you guys feel like y'all's is news outlets did?
I mean, whenever I was watching the clips, there was no like sponsors or like segments where like they went off and but I would say there were like things that were being pushed, if you will. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
at this vocab word was kind of hard for me and like
It was
to
hard
figure
for
out
me
what
too. I
to
didn't
put,
think
but
Yeah.
Ain't
advertising,
nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
I feel like Fox News
especially
is definitely
over these
trying to
topics.
influence people in a negative way, though.
right, and that's kind of it.
Right.
Yeah, like I feel like they were trying to more so place the blame rather than place it on,
Just figure out.
like the
Yeah.
person that actually did
Yeah,
it.
for
They were
Yeah.
trying
sure.
to place it on a party more so.
Definitely. They
Yeah.
were making it all political. It was not
Mhm.
about the people actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that's right. That's really true.
And I also wrote down, I wanted to say that ABC, they also made a point to like explain why that type of story spreads the way it does.
Hmm.
They like tie it into larger issues like digital literacy and echo chambers and just misinformation culture.
Hmm.
Like you can
Right.
have someone just tell you misinformation and go with it nowadays.
Mm.
Right.
Like
That's
you're not double
very
think
true.
it.
Well, I liked how they did that, because I feel like that's not very normal for a big news outlet to do that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that's
definitely.
cool. I love that.
Every
Yeah.
everything that I've learned throughout ABC through this project has just made me like them even more.
Yeah. I kind of watch a little bit more CNN news now. They
Yeah.
did good.
I remember when used to watch the CNN 10 in high school.
Oh my
Yeah.
word!
I had to
In
watch that
middle
in high school
school.
too.
Missed
I
that
had to
show.
watch middle school in I think it was my sixth grade class. It was my history class. We had to watch, I think, 10-minute, 15-minute video on CNN
Mm.
every morning or every class period.
Oh, thought my
Hmm.
school was the
Hmm.
only one that did that.
And it was
Yeah.
that same
Yes.
guy with the black hair,
Yeah.
Carl or
Carl
something
and
like
Yep.
that.
I
David.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh
I
yes.
miss him. Now the
That's
guy's like
crazy.
some bald dude.
It's not the same
Yeah.
one.
No, it's not.
Really?
No,
When it stopped
That's
being.
crazy.
that's sad. I
Mhm.
feel old.
I know.
And before we get into our next topic, I just wanted to compare ABC with NBC. NBC, while it's still very cautious, it spent more time discussing the impact of the rumor on politics and cultural reactions. NBC brought more in-panel style commentary and focused on public response, but ABC was more focused on the process and the verification and the restraint of it all. ABC was more like fact checking and literacy focused, while NBC was more reaction based and like gave you more of like a cultural analysis,
Mm-hmm.
which is like I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. And I like me and Carl were saying, ABC and NBC are very like they were both just very neutral and they're very easy to compare because they are very like they do try to spread like the same information basically.
For sure. Yeah.
Our,
Mm.
I compared to Fox News, and I think, like we've clearly all stated, it was definitely NBC was definitely more neutral versus compared to Fox.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how like MSNBC were like they were like with the factual standpoint, I would say that it was kind of similar. But yeah, differences and similarities.
Yeah.
Agree.
Anyone else have anything to say about their comparisons?
I guess I could compare mine to the CNN. I guess CNN is more opinionated, definitely,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
than
I
USA Today.
I compare mine to ABC only because it's kind of about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so our second topic is the Epstein files, and that's obviously a very different topic because it's an outgoing and very legal and historical
Oh,
issue.
Right?
And that's
which
one
is
thing that
crazy.
is not a rumor, unfortunately. But ABC has treated it very serious and as a long-term investigation with political and social consequences. Their coverage of the files was a lot more established and fact-driven. They really focused on like the newly released documents, the known associates, and the legal consequences and the systematic failures that allowed Epstein's actions to continue out. And they also
Hmm.
focused on the public interest in naming accountability in these cases and all the files. And they included a lot of like interviews with legal experts in these clips, and they highlighted the victims' voices, which made coverage feel more like human-centered instead of just like, local news. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and they really avoided like conspiracy language at too. Like they would say stuff like court release documents. They were very big on saying like this investigation is still ongoing, or these unsealed files, just using like, terms to make like it's still going on. Like this might not be all the information, this might not be 100%. But I feel like they showed a consistent effort to avoid overstating anything without strong evidence with it. But yeah, I feel like they did a very good job at like describing everything that is going on around it, and they did so like without trying to, spread any false information and trying to remain neutral politically.
For sure. Yeah, I would definitely say most of like Fox News, it felt really political. But that might just be because like they were trying to get the information in, but it felt like they were very, like how you said, like it might be, but it might not be, like, just keeping it neutral. Like they were very confident in the information that they were giving.
Mhm.
Um, but then there were other times when like reporters would like sympathize for Erica and her family, so that felt more like on the emotional side.
Hmm.
So political, emotional, definitely not
CNN,
neutral.
CNN, I would kind of say the same thing, but they were more factual. Like they got the reporters up there. They got one of the victims up there actually,
Oh
and
wow.
she did a she talked to the news reporter or whatever, and then she had her attorney up there too, and she was explaining why she would like these files out now, and she just dove into depth to how all this happened when she was a teenager or 14 years old, how did it happen and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy, but it had a
Yeah,
lot of information for CNN News.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like MSNBC, they didn't really push any like conspiracy theories or anything. They stuck to confirmed facts and made sure that they mentioned the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they made sure to stick to just the facts so that they weren't spreading anything false. And
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of how the NBC was. I agree. They just stated how they were very curious as to see how long it took the Department of Justice to get it all out. And they seemed pretty, I don't know if excited is the word, but they seemed pretty eager
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
for everything to come out and be released.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Mhm.
Okay, well, going back into our vocab regarding the Epstein files, I feel like for objectivity, the information that was presented in a neutral way and in a factual tone based on the documents and expert testimony. So they they very much, I don't know, they're very I'm going blank, guys. Someone take over.
Okay, I'll start.
No, we're good.
Again, surprise, surprise, they didn't show much objectivity because there were a lot of opinions being given. Not saying that they didn't give facts, because they did give us like reports from the police,
Right.
but like again, like, you know, it's all about the violence against.
NBC, they ended up bringing on House Representative Mike Johnson. I think that's the one I watched.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And they had they questioned him about everything being released. And I feel like, bringing on people, especially from the House, you're being pretty transparent with everybody. You're being pretty objective. So I feel like in that aspect, they did pretty good. They're objective and pretty transparent.
It was good. It's good.
Sorry, guys. I was just trying to say earlier that their objectivity was just very neutral. I just couldn't get that sentence out.
You
It's
good.
okay,
You're
girl.
good.
But moving on, they were also very transparent. They clearly explained where the information came from and that it was still unknown. So, they were transparent in giving their source and transparent in saying, this is still, not 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
And did you guys have anything for transparency on the Epstein files or no?
Yeah, mine was
Um,
pretty transparent also.
Again, mine was very opinion based, but I will say that I did watch one of the clips was I don't know, his name is Jesse Waters, I wrote him down. And
Mhm.
he was the host of some show on Fox News, and he was interviewing this guy, and he did say he was like, "There's a lot of wealthy and powerful individuals from both sides that have been involved with the Epstein files, and that are like very driven to like keeping those files from being released." And that he said that full transparency is the best approach. So that's pretty nice for. It's a pretty good change
Perfect.
for Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, our little timer on here is at 1 minute and 35 seconds counting down.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, if you want to go ahead and end it, we can record again and pick back up, and I'll just merge the clips.
okay.
Okay. That's cool.
Are you
Okay, I will
stopping?
create a new one. Yes.
Okay, and I feel like each of our outlets kind of shows slow journalism, because the story is still ongoing to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's still an ongoing investigation. So yeah, I feel like it's just a very slow process in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I think the news sources are definitely trying to make sure that they're saying and getting the right information out versus spilling stuff. And, like you said, it's still ongoing.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, even though Fox News was like trying to put a quick headline out, I feel like since I would have to agree, since it is still ongoing, that they
Yeah.
all would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree
And
with y'all also.
in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
yeah, and I also feel like ABC's primary agenda was more so focused on accountability and public understanding of it all, and not protecting or attacking specific individuals or targeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they very much
Yeah.
just focused on taking accountability and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine
That's
was
very,
quite the opposite. They tried to put the blame on the liberals. And in a clip that I watched, they actually say the Democrats don't care as much about the victims in these cases as they do about scoring political points against the Republicans. So maybe they're like implying that it was the Democrats who leaked the info or, just trying to start something, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same with CNN.
They
They did.
definitely have more of a political agenda up their sleeve.
For sure.
Mhm.
But I also feel like my news source, ABC, kind of tried to avoid propaganda altogether. They avoided using like the dramatic language about it, the fear-based messaging, and like the emotional manipulation of it all, of
Hmm.
through the files. They just kind of avoided all of that. Um,
yeah,
but
I feel like that's NBC.
yeah,
Yeah, mine
Because
was
they're,
saying, Fox was saying that like they thought it was kind of odd that it was like leaked just now that like Trump is in office. Why wasn't it done like like the past 4 years and all of that? So
Right, yeah.
trying to make
Yeah.
trying
And
to make them look
also,
bad.
there's also just a lot of propaganda also surrounding the case itself as it is with the
Yes.
Charlie Kirk case because we still don't have everything released. We still don't know 100% everything. And so it's just all of these people coming forward, all of these things being put out on the internet about X, Y, and Z. There's just so much out there. There's a lot of propaganda, and a lot of people, younger people, unfortunately, will just take that and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that
And
just
not
goes back
actually,
into
yeah.
the miscommunication culture and just like telling wrong information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I see a lot of that on TikTok.
definitely.
Yeah, especially Charlie Kirk. I see it a lot on TikTok.
hmm Um, but kind of going back into how ABC compares with NBC, their NBC's coverage of the Epstein files was kind of similar in seriousness, but slightly more focused on the political implications and like the names that were connected to power involved. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of they kind of lean more into like the connections with the elites, and ABC more so focused on the legal process and the victims,
Yeah.
Right.
which isn't a bad thing. But the NBC pointing out the power dynamics and these big figures was like is still something that's good to hear from like a news source.
Right.
But it's still, I will say, still like having it being like pointed at someone, still trying to point a finger at someone is still kind of like I feel like in that sense versus how they covered Charlie Kirk, I'm talking about NBC. They kind of took Epstein files and more of they took it in a different way, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um, but yeah,
Okay.
and did anyone else have anything to say about this topic and another news source?
No.
No, I feel like again, ABC and NBC are pretty similar in both the Charlie Kirk and Epstein case. They were Epst let me get my words together. Um, no, I mean I feel like they were pretty good. No, I'm good.
Well, before we conclude, I just wanted to say I compared how ABC handled both of the topics that we covered, Charlie Kirk and the Epstein files. I noticed that the highest misinformation risk was clearly in the Charlie Kirk story. ABC
Yes.
also showed more
Agree.
restraint in the situation. Um, and the Epstein files were kind of treated more seriously and carefully across all networks versus the Charlie Kirk case, I would say. Um, but ABC was very good about separating the news from a rumor or, evidence from your personal opinion. They kind
Right.
of
Right.
reinforced how important responsible media practices are, like with your digital age. So I honestly, after this project, I feel like ABC has grown on me. I might start watching them more often.
Yeah. I
Heck
learned
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I feel
learned
like I can watch NBC and ABC. Those are probably going to be my go-tos when I have to watch the news. I don't like watching
yeah.
the news.
I learned a lot from CNN News. Might start watching it.
I
Yeah.
might piggyback onto one of y'all's ABC or NBC because this is very, yeah, it's very
Yeah.
one-sided.
Yeah.
I I am definitely one of those that say ignorant is bliss when it comes to watching the news because I just don't like watching it. You can't hardly find
Right.
any good
Which
news
ain't
channels
ain't
that
nothing
aren't
wrong with that.
biased.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and whenever you're like kind of new to watching the news, it's like, well, what do you like? How
Exactly.
do you know what's true and what's not? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
Hmm.
Well, to kind of sum it all up, From ABC News, I know that I learned that responsive journalism is kind of less about speed and more about accuracy or intention
Mhm.
and like the context of what you're putting out there. And comparing ABC to NBC really helped me understand how even professional networks can approach the same story in distinctly different ways. One focusing on more legal and ethical caution, and the other focusing on like more of a political and a social impact. But
Mhm.
ultimately, I feel like, this project is just showing, it just showed me how powerful news framing can be and how important it is to look at multiple sources before you just form a conclusion because
Oh, for
are
sure.
there are so many different sources and everything is, based a different way. But I will say after this project, I very much like ABC and I will probably start watching ABC News.
Yeah, I just liked seeing kind of comparing, like hearing y'all's NBC and ABC and CNN and everything, like just how extreme like the differences are. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Anyone else
Yeah.
have anything to conclude?
Don't think so.
Nope.
Been a fun semester.
I know.
Yeah, I enjoyed working with you guys for our group projects.
Yes,
Yes, I did
so
too.
much fun. Good.
I think we were all pretty flexible and pretty easy going with everybody. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that
enjoyed
makes
this.
it worth it.
I liked how easygoing this was, like
Yeah, I
our
Yeah.
group
enjoyed this.
was.
Hmm.
All
Other than me
right.
messing up that one time, but
No, girl, you're fine.
Yeah.
but anyways, I
Mm.
guess thanks for tuning into our podcast. And yeah, have a great next semester.
We'll
Until
see you
next
later.
Thank
time.
you, y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.